We got it, you guys. We finally got our hands on the brand new Nintendo Switch 2. Huge shout out to Nintendo for sending this out a little bit early for us to check it out. So let's unbox this new Switch and check out some dope new accessories you can get for it. Ooh, we got the Pro Controller, the camera, Mario Kart World, and a couple more. Before we jump into everything, like I said, Nintendo was cool enough to send this one out to us, but your boy, we got a couple ourselves. We were able to order our own, so you know what that means. We're gonna be doing a giveaway. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, now's probably a good time. And make sure you leave a comment down below. That's all you gotta do. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and your username on whatever social media platform you're on, so I can actually message you. And we're going to pick one random winner to get their hands on one of these. I'll probably make a post on social media as well, but you gotta subscribe and comment here. But all right. Let's unbox it. You know, pretty typical box. We can open it up right from over here. Pull this guy out. Bam, right to it. So we've got our Switch and that screen, 7.9 inches, baby. Pop that over to the side. We've got our Joy-Cons. We've got our left, which is blue. And then we've got the right one over here, which is red. We're not even gonna take those out. We're gonna check out everything else you get in the box because this thing is hefty. All right, so we've got some paperwork over here, an HDMI cable, and we've got our straps for our Joy-Cons over here. But these straps are interesting, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but you can use these as more than just straps. We've got our controller grip, so you can add your Joy-Cons right onto this. So we'll check that out. We've also got this USB-C to C cable with some Nintendo branding. The HDMI cable is also branded by Nintendo as well, so very official. And we have our power brick over here. So this looks like it's a 60-watt charger with one USB-C port. And this time, yeah, I just realized this is not just one full plug. Previously in the Nintendo Switch, it was just all one thing. Now it is detachable. Now, obviously you're gonna need all that for this guy over here, the Switch 2 dock. All right, let's clear her up real quick. So this is it. This is the Switch 2 dock. We've got multiple finishes on here. So this is a nice matte finish, and inside it's got this glossy finish. And I'm guessing that's to help the Switch kind of stay in place, but it looks good. So the front, obviously flat. The back has a bigger hump and a curve to it. Two USB-A ports over here. Pop the back off, and you get access to the AC adapter port, your HDMI out, and your LAN port. So you can plug in your Ethernet to make sure you've got that wired connection when you dock your Switch. So you got all three ports over here. This is like much bigger. This does allow the Switch to output in 4K. So 4K 60. So we've got some fans here to kind of amp it up. So this is everything you get inside of the box. But now let's properly open the Switch 2. I am so excited for this screen, man. This is a much larger screen than the original, so I am pumped for that. And you can see now we've got color-coded sides. So the blue is obviously going to be the left. The right is gonna be your red side. You've got your nice hinge in the back that gives you way more angles. It actually feels really nice. And you've got your USB-C port on the bottom of the Switch, but also at the top. So when you are using that kickstand, you'll still be able to charge your device. That is one thing that we've been complaining about with the Switch, and Nintendo addressed it with the new version. Of course, we also have our power button over here, volume rocker over here, and your game card slot. Where do you put in your micro SD card? Okay, down here underneath the kickstand, you have your micro SD card slot. So that's where you get access to that. Now we gotta get out these Joy-Cons over here, and I love the feel of it. This feels so like just smooth. I love how smooth it feels. But here's one of the best parts about the Switch 2. Magnets.
Yeah! Magnets! Oh!
And it gives you that satisfying Switch sound. And to pop them off, you press this little button over here, not having to drag it into place. Now let's take a closer look at these Joy-Cons. So we've got the new triggers up top. These are a lot larger than the previous version. What's special here is this little slot right here. Now we'll show you with some B-roll, but this is the optical sensor so that you can basically use these like a mouse. Now I got to try this feature out in person when I got to preview the Switch. So you basically have them like this, but you'd want to use these guys. Now the straps actually have this piece right here to allow it to go onto a surface and it's just like a lot smoother. So it's very similar to like the pads we have on a mouse. You put the strap on your wrist and you're basically ready to go. And I'm so curious to see how developers are gonna implement this feature into games. I got to check out a cool game where it was like you're basically in a wheelchair and you're playing basketball, and it was so dope. I actually saw this gameplay in Metroid. So if you wanna do like that first person experience, you wanna move your camera around, you can do that too. If you're PC lovers trying to get into the console world, Nintendo's trying to make it happen. Those are what you get with these extra straps. Now on the right Joy-Con, you actually have this C button. Now this C button, think of it as your chat button, because when you press this button, you can open up a voice chat with your friends who are online. I think this is pretty cool because it's going to make the Switch a bit more social. You know, Nintendo's all about social gaming, playing with others. With this button, you can now voice chat with your friends online. And if you have something like the Switch camera, you're going to be able to go ahead and video chat as well. It supports up to like 4 people during a gaming session. It'll finally make it kind of useful to see when your friends pop online to actually do something about it and maybe just start chatting with them. But okay, Gene, do we just turn it on finally? All this talking, right? Oh my gosh, is that music playing? They put the tunes on this too with the first screen? Okay, so the Americas, view the user agreement. I'm reading it, Gene. I'm a speed reader. Oh, hold on. Oh yeah, that's okay. Everything's okay with me. I'm liking all of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this up. Oh, look at the keyboard. I like the little border effect on this. Listen, if Nintendo brings the tunes like they did with like the Wii had some tunes, man. Wii Sports, are you kidding me? All right, so this is downloading some update data. So while it's updating and doing all that, I wanna talk about some other accessories we got our hands on. And that's these guys over here. We got some accessories from our friends over at Spigen. Listen, you guys know me. Whenever I get a new phone, a gaming device, tablet, whatever, I'm always looking to protect it immediately. And I'm always looking at Spigen first because they're my go-to, and they gave us quite a few options to check out over here. Let's go over it real quick. All right, so first up, we've got the rugged armor case, and I already like the way the grips feel. Now this one has this matte texture with a really solid grip. Plus it's got this carbon fiber detailing, you know, to give it that stealthy vibe. So, you know, it's got this like really clean look while also feeling really secure. Now, if you want something a little bit more playful, the Nan Pop is legit. Now it adds color without, you know, skipping on the protection, and it works with the built-in kickstand and the dock. So you're not constantly pulling things off just to charge it or play. I also got the clear fit air case, you know, if you're trying to keep things simple. And of course, probably one of the most important to me personally is the screen protector. The tempered glass screen protector with the foolproof installation kit. You know, this is happening right after this video. And for my traveling folks out there, this right here is the Clasden carrying case. And this thing's clutch. Pretty compact, hard shell case. And inside, you got 10 game card slots. You even have this small spot right here if you want to add like an air tag. So in case you misplace it while traveling, you know how to find it. So yeah, whether you want low-key protection or something a little more styled, Spigen has options ready day one. So shout out to Spigen for not only sponsoring this part of the video, but having accessories available for launch day one. So if you guys want to check them out, I have all the links down below in the description. I love this stuff. But all right, back to the Switch. Let's see, start a system transfer. Oh, I gotta transfer the stuff from my regular Switch. All right, you guys, so I've got my personal Nintendo Switch over here, getting ready to do the system transfer, but I just got an interesting pop-up on the Switch 2. And it says you're gonna need a micro SD Express memory card, and only micro SD Express cards are supported, so other SD cards won't work. Like it literally says other SD cards won't work. Now this is interesting. I don't know if this is for just the system transfer or the entire Switch 2 in general, but those are very different cards. I don't think I have any in-house, so I'm gonna have to go pick one up. So I'm gonna have to skip this part, but that's something to be aware of. If you're picking up the Switch, you're gonna need an Express micro SD card. So this tells me I need to make a video with the best accessories that you can get for the Switch 2 so you don't make any mistakes like picking up a regular micro SD card. I guess I'll just go ahead and skip. I don't have that. All right, guys, so system transfer is complete. So we've got some games downloading over here. So there are some small UI changes, you know, slight differences. But for the most part, if you're familiar with the UI of the Switch, you're gonna be right at home over here. For the most part, largely the same, just like a couple color tweaks here and there. Oh, you can group? I never did that before. And that's actually pretty interesting. So they made a UI change where they added the groups over here, whereas before you had to like press a button, and I never even knew you could do that. So now that this is more visible, you can have like select groups for all of your titles. Now, one thing I will say, now that we've got the two systems right in front of us, if we were to just compare, because this is the OLED version, Gene, I'm gonna bump up my brightness, my man, so it's not gonna look so hot on your end. So here's the thing, you guys. This is an OLED screen, and the Switch 2 is using an LCD screen. But like I said, when I first saw it, it didn't feel like a bad looking screen whatsoever. And now that I've got them side by side, I can see the colors pop a little bit more on the OLED, just a smidge more, but you really kind of have to like really look closely for that. So this is an awesome LCD panel that they're using, and it supports HDR, which is dope. So it's a really good looking screen. Now, when it comes to actually docking it, what's that feel like? All right, line this up, boom. So it's just like that. So that's a dock. The grip also uses magnets. Now, I'll be honest, I don't really use this feature much. I like to go with the Pro controller if I'm looking for that, you know, controller-like experience, which we have over here, actually. So let's go ahead and pop that open. So now we've got the little Pro controller buttons on the back, right on the grips. This feels solid, so smooth. Let's go ahead and pair this up. Before the first use, charge the controller with the controller automatically pair when it is in TV mode. All right, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna use our camera monitor over here to act as our TV. All right, so we've got our little makeshift TV set up over here. We've got everything docked, and then the controller is paired. With this whole docking setup, we could probably get the camera on too, right? So with the camera, you got this guy. Oh, cool. And Nintendo also put in a physical privacy shutter. If you've got any privacy concerns, physical privacy shutter is always ideal. Then we could just throw that right here. And we've got our camera connected. To use game chat, you need to confirm your phone number via text message. Also, you need phone number verification to use game chat. Interesting. Just to make sure these are legit people, right? Because who knows, bots can be weird, spam accounts. Scan the QR code, verify my account. There goes Ari and on. Cool, so now I can use game chat. I feel like we're pretty set up. We're downloading games, so we can't play any, but we still got the physical copies, baby. So this was a Mario Kart World bundle, red cartridge. I wonder if it still tastes funny. Ah. Yeah, still tastes gross, to prevent kids from eating cartridges. All right, so throwing in our first game. I'm gonna do this on the actual Switch though. But this setup is dope because now if you're playing Mario Kart and you wanna compete against your friends, they don't need to be in the same vicinity as you. They can be home playing against you, and you guys can all share the camera and still get that like somewhat in-person experience. You get to see each other's faces, the upset faces. And what's also cool with the whole game sharing thing, if you wanna play like, let's say, Mario Kart World with other folks who have Switches, you're able to game share. So everyone doesn't need a copy. I can have a single copy, and if I'm like, yo, listen, Gene, I really want to destroy you in Mario Kart, he could jump on his Switch, game share with me, and we're both playing at the same time. That world map for Mario Kart World. Listen, I already got some experience. I had a 1v1 at the Nintendo event. Come on, Gene, put some respect on my name, man. I won that. You get out of here. Run the tape. Oh, this looks so clean. Nah, I'm more of a Yoshi guy. Cheap falls? Sure. Ooh, the haptics feel great on this. It's crazy, the size is so much larger, but it feels great. Like this screen is nice. Ooh, let's go. Second place, first place already? That's the one thing in this game. You can't get too hyped too quick, man. Gene, come on, man. This is what I do. I'm a gamer, boy. Nah, it's probably on easy mode, honestly. I'm gonna have a good time. And I'm definitely interested in seeing how normal Switch games perform on this, because you know, there are a lot of Switch games that are gonna have Switch 2 versions, which are gonna be more optimized to handle the different specs and the performance that this thing can put out. So I got some fun work ahead of me for the next few weeks. Yeah, make sure you're subscribed. Later.